According to RPR data, Draper's median home value rose from $432,000 in July 2020 to $829,000 in June 2026, a gain of $397,000 or 91.9%. If you bought the median Draper home 6 years ago, you've gained more from sitting still than most people gained from a decade of saving. Before we go further, here's where these numbers come from and why that matters. Both figures are RPR reported estimated values, not list prices and not sale prices. That distinction matters more than it sounds like it should. The list price is what a seller asks. The sale price is what a home actually closes at. The estimated value is a modeled figure. Mixing those three together is how you get the wildly different Draper home price numbers. You'll see if you Google this yourself. Anywhere from the mid 700,000 to the low 900,000 range, depending on which site and which month. I'm using one consistent metric across both dates, so the comparison is real. That's the standard you should hold any market update to, not just mine. Now, let's go back to July of 2020. This is an unusual starting point. Rates were near historic lows, remote work had just untethered a lot of home buyers from where they worked, and Draper, sitting right in the Silicon Slopes corridor between Salt Lake and Utah counties, became one of the places that demand landed hardest. The steepest part of the climb happened in the 2 years after that. Then rates moved, and the pace of appreciation slowed, though it didn't reverse. What's happened since is less a straight line and more a market finding a new normal, which brings us to right now. As of June 2026, Draper's median days on market reached 55, up 19.6% month over month, according to RPR. That's a real shift in how fast homes are moving. Here's the question that number raises. If homes are sitting longer, does that mean the equity gain is starting to disappear? No. A slower market doesn't mean Draper's equity gains are disappearing. The value increase is already built into the home. And the reason matters. The $397,000 gained isn't a projection or a hope. Days on market measures liquidity, how fast a home converts to cash. It doesn't measure value. A Draper home that takes 55 days to sell this month is not worth less than the identical home that would have sold in 30 days last year. It's the same home, at the same value, just moving through a different pace of the market. Slower doesn't mean cheaper. It means a seller today should expect more time and, likely, more negotiation, not necessarily a smaller number at closing. Let's make this concrete with an example. And to be clear, this is an illustration built on assumptions, not a specific client's numbers. Say a buyer purchased the median Draper home in July 2020 with 10% down, roughly $43,200, financing the remaining $388,800. Assume a standard 30-year loan and 6 years of typical principal paydown. Between that paydown and the $397,000 in value gained, that homeowner is very likely sitting on well over $400,000 in equity today. Not from renovating, not from a windfall. From owning the home through a specific window in the market. That number moves depending on the down payment, the loan terms, and the specific property. So treat it as a shape, not a promise. But the shape holds across a lot of Draper sellers who bought in that window. Not every 2020 buyer is looking at this same number, and it's worth saying so. Someone who closed at the very top of a hot selling month in 2022 rather than in 2020 has a smaller gain. Someone in a different price tier, say an entry-level townhome versus a Suncrest custom build, has appreciated at a different rate than the city median because Draper's price range runs from under $600,000 to well over $6 million, and a single median doesn't capture all of that. If you're not sure where your specific home falls in that range, that's a fair question to ask before assuming the city average applies to you. 6 years, $397,000, and a market that's slowing down without giving any of it back. That's the state of Draper right now. If you want to see what your specific home or price range has gained since 2020, not just the city median, comment wealth, and I'll send you the Utah equity timeline for your home. I break down appreciation scenarios across Draper, Sandy, Riverton, Bluffdale, Lehigh, Highland, Alpine, and all over the Wasatch Range, so you can see where your number actually lands.